Well, Dave, thanks for talking to us. Just want to start with something that I think we all might have just forgot. I know you wouldn't have forgot, but after what was going on Saturday, with plenty of incidents and plenty of things happening, but Ollie Lancashire, just bring us up to date. What happened?
He got a whack on his calf last week at Wimbledon. Didn't train all week. Trained on Christmas Eve. Felt fine. Great, not a problem. You'll carry on in the team. Warmed up on Saturday. Went felt a tweak again, and with him having a previous history of calf strain, we just pulled him out. So will he be all right for tomorrow? He's getting assessed as we speak, so we'll see where we are tomorrow.
Of course, you replaced him with Travis Johnson, and your thoughts on his performance.
Travis, we set him all targets, mutual targets at the start of the season, and I can't remember offhand what his targets were, but I believe he's already started 6 games, 4 in the Papa Johns and 2 in the league, which I'm sure that's on track or already exceeding his season's target, one of his season's targets, which is a good return. Before we even get into the new year, can he do more? Of course he can. We saw when he played at Hull in the Papa Johns. After about 5 minutes, he put up an unbelievable cross for Ports's header. Are we asking him to get forward? Well, he's got to make sure he does his job first. He's a defender, and that will come. I think in the second half on Saturday, he was terrific going forward. He kept coming inside, getting into a little pocket, getting off the midfielders, and then combining with Owen and looking as dangerous going forward as he was competent in his defending. So I've said for his first 2 league appearances, he's been mistake-free, and that's all you can ask of a young kid trying to make his way in the game. Couple that with 4 Papa Johns and a couple last year. Played at Mansfield last year, and he come on at Swindon away, believe it or not, last year, when we didn't have any centre-halves, and we ended up with Ryan and Perry there. So he's forging a career, and he deserves a lot of credit for it. I think the forging of his career has been done on the training ground by himself. He works hard every day. If you work hard at this football club, more often than not, you'll get your rewards, and he's got his rewards.
Every game that you play, Dave, you've always said you always learn something that you can store and remember and use sometime throughout the season. What did you learn on Saturday?
That synchronised appealing don't get you anywhere.
In terms of the opposition, though, as well, in terms of playing that type of opposition, you haven't met much like that in the last few years, but you met something different on Saturday.
Yeah, I think, the first thing I said to them at half-time, keep your discipline. That's what they're trying to do. And in the end, the one lad who shouldn't be on the pitch was a Fleetwood player. I thought we had a real disciplined performance Saturday. It never really got spoke about after the game, but then when you watch it back without that emotion involved, I thought our lads' temperament, in the face of provocation at times. I'm not saying it's what they were doing was wrong or beyond a line or anything like that. I'm just saying that's what Joey Barton's teams are. That's their DNA, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it can be easy to get frustrated or react poorly to them kind of tactics. And please don't think that the word tactic in that regard is a negative way of, or me pouring cold water on a poor tactic. It's not. That's another way to try and win games, and Joey obviously believes in that, and which is fine. But I thought our players really handled that tactic well. Like I said, to the point where I think they were getting frustrated, not us. So, I was really pleased. It was that was one real positive to come out of it. The fact that when we spoke to them at half time, about keeping the discipline. They didn't half show it well, and it went a long way to getting us a point.
The other thing that you must be pleased with, that point that took you now to 30 points, 9th in the table, you must be well satisfied with the progress that you're making. I know you always can say there's more to come, but you're progressing well.
Yeah, I think, I look at this season and it's an upward trend in terms of performances, in terms of results, in terms of consistency of results. It is heading in the right direction, but we're nowhere near where we can be. And we all know, and I keep saying it, so I don't just think it's a broken record or anything. But the players know that. I'm pretty certain the players know that. We've got more to come, and we've got to keep striving to be better. But at the same time, you don't go 6 unbeaten if you're rubbish. So we've got to make sure that Rochdale tomorrow and Shrewsbury on Saturday, we remain unbeaten, and we've got to win both games. And because where we want to get to and where we want to be in the league, you don't get anything by drawing them or losing them.
Where are you up to, Dave? We'll talk more about Rochdale in a moment's time. Have you had any more dialogue? Is it still, at the moment, you're preparing, the game's on?
Yeah, the game's on. Until we get told different, the default position, the game's on. So I'd be surprised if the game was off. I'm not saying that because I've heard anything. I just think, I know Accrington game is off tomorrow again, and I think they've played 16 games or something. There's going to be a point where there's not many Tuesdays left. I'm quite happy that we've played a lot of games, to be quite honest. Because if this new strain gets worse or mutates again and etc., it's not going to be ideal if there's another 2 or 3 weeks of football missing. So, well, like I said, the default position is on. I'm pretty certain Rochdale will want it on. Hopefully the weather doesn't put paid to it as well, and we'll prepare as normal.
They're another one of these clubs, aren't they? A bit like you've just played over the last few weeks, the Wimbledons, the Accringtons of this world. They go under the radar a little bit, Rochdale, but again, they've been in that league a few years now.
Yeah, well, I think I speak to Brian Barry Murphy a lot, or more than most managers. I really like him. He seems to be a terrific guy. Never actually met him. Played against him. Never actually spoke to him face to face, but I've spoke to him half a dozen times. So about various things, advice, both ways. And he's got a terrific little football club. I think they've got as much possession, if not more possession in games than us. So he's trying to teach them, the right way, or a way that's certainly aligned to the way I like to play. And I've got a lot of time for Brian and Rochdale. You mentioned the word unfashionable, unfancied. Yeah, you'd say that about Crewe. There's nothing unfashionable or unfancied about how they play and how they go about the business. Because they've been in League One for a long, long time, and I'm pretty certain with their resources, that's a fantastic achievement. So we know it's going to be a tough game. We know that they've got good players. We know that they've got a terrific young manager who's learning his trade. And we've got to be, if we're not at our best, then it's going to be a tough afternoon. So we've got to make sure we go there and perform well to get anything out of the game.
Rounding up the year, Dave, when you look at it, I think you ended 2019 with a 3-1 win at home against Scunthorpe. It's been a fine year, hasn't it? Both on and off the field, in terms of your winning promotion, winning manager of the year, the players developing, and the takeover. Things look to be on the right road.
Yeah. I think whereas most people would want to forget 2020, I think for our little unfancied, unfashionable, under-resourced, horrible little football club that nobody wants to write about, it's been a terrific year for us. It's been a really good year, both on and off the pitch. We've got a terrific new board or new directors interspersed with really old, sage, wise directors. We've got a terrific set of fans. with probably renewed vigour about what's happening off the pitch. We've got a squad of players that want to play for this football club, which is easy to say and not always the case, and not easy to put into practice. We've got a management team that wants to be here. So when you've got that, just them few things, I think you've got a chance to be successful. And for the first 6 months of this year, we were. And I think we're all already now putting blocks in place and building blocks in place to be as successful as we can be in this division. And that's got to be the aim, because if we don't keep striving to get better, and if we stagnate, somebody will come along and have his dinner. And it's as simple as that. So we've got to make sure that we keep striving, and hopefully, fingers crossed, 2021 will be the same as what it has been this year.
So one final point then, just as we know what's coming up next week, is January. The fans will be asking, have we got any money in the pot? Is there any potential chance of you might want to add or take new players?
I think the first thing to say is we don't have to sell. So that's the first thing. I don't need to say any more on that. And we won't, unless it's an offer we feel that's right for this football club, we won't. So that's the first thing. In terms of incomings, we've got to make sure that we improve the squad and improve the team. Is that easy? It's never easy. Is that easy with our resources? Well, that does make it more difficult, of course. Again, that's not me getting my violin out. That's always been the case. So we've got to make sure that we spend wisely. And we'll see where we get to. We'll see where we get to. It's a chance to improve in terms of personnel. It's one that we'll be looking to do.